Hello, welcome to an Unseen Reviews ranting special. We're just uploading the final part of the Skyfall review, and the discussion turned to the Avengers versus the Dark Knight Rises, which we do mention in the review. Now, this is often a topic of discussion in our workplace. That's me, Paulie and Sam, the backstage guys. Yo, there we are, yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I can't get involved in the conversation because of the way our desk is situated, and it gets me kind of annoyed because I really want to, get properly involved. And sometimes these guys are discussing it for hours on end. So I thought, well, instead of just telling the people at work about it, we got a YouTube channel now. So let's just tell as many people as we can about it.
Do it.
So
here we go.
The argument often at work is that the Avengers is simply a better film. Let's get something straight, right, yeah, for starters. The difference between an entertaining film and a good film, right? A good film is a film that has something to say, you know what I mean? It's got something that you're gonna learn something from it, you know? Film, yeah, depth, exactly. Filmmaking is storytelling. It's a modern day version of storytelling. Going all the way back to the ancient Greeks, when they were telling stories like the Iliad and the Odyssey and all that kind of stuff, those stories have stood the test of time because there's something to say about who we are and what we're doing and where we're going. The Avengers is not that kind of a film at all. The Avengers is an entertaining film, I'll give it that. It's an entertaining film, but there's no depth to it. It's about a bunch of guys with loads of fucking money and superpowers going and taking on a bunch of fucking orcs, yeah? What is, I mean, okay, that's entertaining because there's lots of explosions and guys flying around and all that kind of stuff.
It looks nice.
Exactly, yeah, I mean, it looks great, you know what I mean? But The Dark Knight Rises is something else. The Dark Knight Rises is the end of the journey of one guy who's looking for vengeance, that's what he starts out with, he's looking for vengeance, but eventually he learns that vengeance isn't really what he should be doing. He should be learning to move past it and moving on, from the pain that he's been suffering. Exactly.
He relies on the Batman.
Exactly, yeah.
And he doesn't need it anymore.
He doesn't need, he's just not needed anymore. He passes on the mantle because he understands that it's not about him. He starts off saying, this isn't about me, but he realises it's become about him, and he moves on from it.
And Alfred hates it as well. That's why
even Alfred pisses off because he's so annoyed with him, and he loves that guy. He loves Bruce Wayne so much. The Avengers, where is the fucking character growth? You know what I mean? What is the point of it? Okay, so Tony Stark is like, oh man, I'm so pissed off because I'm Iron Man and I can't handle it. I can't handle being a billionaire who's built a suit and then
He can't do anything.
He can't do anything.
His suit is outrageous.
The suit is a piss take.
In space, in the water, whatever. He can do it all.
Exactly, yeah, he can fly in the water, he can convert it into a little fucking briefcase, and he's upset about it. I mean, he's a technological whiz. Exactly, he's a technological whiz. Oh, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. I can't handle all the destruction that my fucking weapons manufacturing company has made. I can't deal with it, man. It's just too much, Oh, the angst. To stop it all off, he fucking tells everybody who he is. He's like, oh, I can't believe all these people are trying to kill me. I can't believe they're trying to kill me. Well, you should have fucking told them who they were, should you? Yeah? I mean, and that's just for starters. I mean, I'll admit that the Avengers does a good job of balancing the characters. No character is overshadowed by other characters. I'll give it that. Joss Whedon's done a good job there. But none of the characters fucking do anything. Nothing means anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. One's got a hammer, one's got a pistol. That's all she has.
Yeah, she's got a fucking pistol.
One's got some arrows, and he runs out with arrows, and he's useless.
Arrows and pistols. So you've got guys flying around and orcs flying around on fucking flying mopeds or some shit, yeah? And so you've got Captain America who's super strong, Iron Man who can fire pulses and stuff. How the fuck are you supposed to be competitive with a pistol? A fucking pistol, man.
Grappling arrow.
Yeah, grappling arrow. I mean, come on. It's just ludicrous, really. It's just ludicrous. So, okay, so what else have we got? What are the other reasons that people say that the Avengers... just to clarify, in case you haven't guessed already, The Dark Knight Rises, I'm on the side of The Dark Knight Rises, in case you hadn't guessed already.
Alright, well, we'll say, what's the difference between an entertaining film and a good film, mate?
Oh, yeah, the entertaining film and a good film. Well, I just laid that out for you, did I not?
Okay, here we go. Do they both achieve what they set out to achieve?
Do they both achieve what they set out to achieve? Well, see, that's an interesting argument. See, people are saying that The Avengers is just supposed to be an entertaining film, and The Dark Knight Rises is supposed to have depth. So both films, I suppose, set out to achieve what they're meant to achieve.
Does that make High School Musical one of the best films?
Yeah, High School Musical. That's supposed to entertain children with lots of singing and dancing and teenagers in the high school. So that must make it a good film, yeah? That must make it a film that's going to stand the test of time. You know? Exactly, see, I suppose if we're talking about an entertaining film, we could talk about The Godfather. Godfather, widely regarded as one of the best films ever made, and deservingly so, because it is. It tells a story of a man's descent into like the depths of hell because he lets himself get involved in something. He starts off with a noble cause, but he ends up like descending because he's not fully appreciating what he's letting himself in for, and he slowly gets swallowed up by his own hatred.
Deeper undertones.
Exactly, much deeper undertones. But a lot of people don't find it that entertaining because of the way the story's told. It's kind of long. There's lots of long shots, but that doesn't take anything away from the fact that it's telling a great story. It's telling a classic story. It's a man's descent. You know what I mean? So you could argue that it's not an entertaining film, but it's definitely a good film. Without a doubt, it's a great film.
Yeah,
you know? The High School Musical, though, as a counteract it, what the fuck is that? I mean, the character.
It's a film for teen boppers.
The Avengers falls into the High School Musical category.
It's like just turn off this image and just turn off.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to use any sort
you
of
can turn off.
brain power.
You start watching it and like, I think the difference is you could watch the Avengers like drunk or like drugged up or whatever, and then you could watch it sober and you'll get nothing more out of it sober. You could watch The Dark Knight Rises drunk or like drugged up, and then watch it sober and you'll be like, wow, I'm getting this now. So, whoa, he's making a huge revelation here, you know what I mean? You don't get that shit with the fucking Avengers.
We're talking about ambition between the films.
Yeah, ambition between the films. So,
and the reason why they were made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Avengers were made to make money. Now, you could argue The Dark Knight Rises was made to make money, but it wasn't. It was always going to make money. It's always going to make money. What Christopher Nolan's done is essentially made the most expensive art house film ever made.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, the way the story's told throughout all three of the films is just like quite ingenious. The way he jumps through time, the way he takes you to places that you wouldn't expect to go. He makes you think about things that you wouldn't necessarily think about. The Avengers is just thinking about, look at that explosion! Fuck yeah! Fuck that! You know what I mean? It's just like, there's just nothing, there's no depth to it, man. There's no depth to it at all. Whereas, like, The Dark Knight Rises, every character has an arc. All of them do. Even the ones that are only introduced during that film. Catwoman's arc. Yeah. She's really selfish, but then she realises she shouldn't be selfish anymore. You know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's starting to get lost. Sorry, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, John Blake. He's starting to get lost. He doesn't know whether he's doing the right thing or not. And then at the end of it, he realises now I'm on the right path. You know, Alfred, he's been pushing and pushing like Batman to keep going. You know, saying got to stay the course, stay the course. But then in that film, he's like, shit, this is the wrong thing I'm doing here.
Completely torn.
Exactly. Like you know, Hulk.
Smash!
Yeah, Hulk smash.
Always angry.
That's it, he's like a comedy character, you know? I mean,
exactly.
should I reference one person's specific opinion about the Hulk without naming them? I think I will, just in case, yeah. One person said that the Hulk was better portrayed in that film than any other film. I don't think so. Basically, the Hulk is just a comedy character, which is a real shame because Hulk's got some depth to him, I suppose. You know, he's a rage machine. He's been struggling to deal with his anger. You know,
comic relief, and he's the one who destroys the villain.
Yeah, he's the one who kills the villain. But he's the comedy character.
He's just smashing around.
It's just this bullshit. How can you take it seriously? You know. Okay, so what else have we got? Come on, fire them at me.
Talk about Nolan, the way Nolan created the new Batman mythology.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, good one. You see, yeah, good
bring
one.
in the mythology.
Yeah, the mythology. See, Nolan's made that film his own. You know, he's made that character his own. He's created his own world that is different. I mean, the thing about comic book characters is there are multiple different versions of them in all the comic books. But he's made his own version of it. He hasn't just like taken characters created by the people and just gone, we'll just do that. You know, he's made his own version and created his own world.
Well, he's just taking carbon copies.
Yeah, exactly.
And then made a fucking popcorn film out of it.
I mean, you can say, okay, he's only had one film to do that in, but technically he hasn't because they made, what, 5 films before that? Iron Man 2, Thor.
They did all the groundwork for it.
Yeah, so other people did the groundwork for him, so he didn't have to do anything else other than like compile it into like, you know, thrown a few fucking special effects in there.
1,000 producers behind him saying, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up.
Exactly, yeah. Don't fuck it up, mate. Don't fuck it up. Yeah. So, I think the key difference, right, is for me, if you take somebody who doesn't know who the Avengers are, and doesn't know who Batman is, and show them those 2 films, they will look at the Avengers and think, that's a comic book film. If they look at The Dark Knight Rises, they'll be thinking, well, this guy's come up with a great story here. You won't see it as a comic book film. The idea is that basically, right, if you're transplanting a story from one genre to another, you've got to pay heed to what that genre is. You know what I mean? We're nearly out of time.
That's it, yeah.
We can cut another bit on the end of it. Yeah. Okay. So I think the key difference is that like when you're transplanting a story from one genre to another, you've got to pay heed to what that genre is that you're moving it into. Like, okay, people say it's a comic book film, and it's made like you're watching a comic book. It's like you're viewing a comic book, The Avengers.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises is a film. He's taken those characters and put them into the context of what a film is, how it should tell the story. Like comic books go on forever and ever and ever. The Dark Knight Rises gives you a definitive end to the story. So you can watch the entire character arc of Bruce Wayne from start to finish. The Avengers, right, it's just going to be fucking Avengers after fucking Avengers 2, Avengers 3, Avengers 4, until we get so fucking sick and tired of it.
Yeah, this
you
one's
know?
darker.
Exactly. It's like Transformers.
Yeah.
It's like the Transformers films. I fucking hate the Transformers films so much. I couldn't give a shit about any of the characters at any point. Like, fucking Shia LaBeouf's like, gonna die. Give a shit.
Yeah, but
because
crying.
Why? Yeah. I mean, they think like, oh, we'll get Shia LaBeouf crying, and then like, oh, people are gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
No, because
his girlfriend's a model.
Why should I care about him? Yeah. I mean, I'm not jealous of him in any way. I don't like, oh, look, he's friends with a big fuck off robot. Oh, brilliant. You know. I mean, see. The Avengers falls into that category. It's just going to churn it out and churn it out and churn it out, and there's just no more depth to it. All it is a fuckload of explosions.
Superhero film by numbers.
Exactly, yeah. Paint by numbers filmmaking. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They've made a blockbuster in the Avengers, and they made a blockbuster in The Dark Knight Rises. But The Dark Knight Rises isn't aiming to be a blockbuster. It just is one.
Yeah.
The Avengers is trying to be a blockbuster.
It's got artistic merit.
Yeah, exactly. It's got artistic merit.
Yeah. It's made by
Exactly. It's made by, like, you know, a brilliant filmmaker. Now, I like Joss Whedon, you know, might get some shit for this, but I'm still a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But, like, whilst he's done a good job, he's not done a brilliant job.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining film, but it's not a good film. It's not a great film. Have we got anything else?
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you think people are going to see these films in about 20 years' time?
Oh,
Yeah,
easy. Thing is, at the current rate, people are going to keep watching comic book films because, you know, you can switch off whilst you're watching them. That's why. They're 2-hour time killers, you know. But The Dark Knight Rises will probably, the whole trilogy will probably be seen as, like, you know, one of the great films, certainly this period. I mean, over the last 10 years, like, cinema has really dropped off, you know. We should feel privileged that, like, Christopher Nolan has made these 3 films. He's taken a character that's widely loved, but he's made them into his own. In 20 years' time, people will still be talking about his films as like great films.
Yeah.
In 20 years' time, stuff like The Avengers will be shown on Channel 5.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're talking about, you know. Sky will be paying extra bucks to have exclusivity on the Dark Knight trilogy. People ain't going to give a fuck about The Avengers.
No.
You know, as an example, Spider-Man 3, that shit's on Channel 5. That's the difference, I think. That's the difference.
Cool.
So, is that it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Right, so that's it. That's why The Dark Knight Rises is the better film. Okay? So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.